What I'm gonna talk about is mainly three steps. The first one is to analyze what is going on with the current system in a very brief way. Then to talk about the alternatives that we have, or whether we have or not alternatives, and then some next steps that we could do together. So probably you identify this woman. Do you know who she is? I guess you know. So when we go to talks and conferences and we talk about the problems of the system, everybody agree nowadays. But at the end, many people still say, okay, but we don't have any alternative. This is the best system we know. Okay, we have poverty, social inequality, climate change, but it's the best option we know. So that is our main challenge, to demonstrate, to show that there are other options or some alternative. And my proposal is that we don't have to reinvent the wheel in order to build the strategies to create a new model. I propose that we should copy the last successful model, that is the neoliberal model, because it's something really new that just in the last 70 years has been growing and developing. And it started in a meeting in Monte Pellegrin with around 15 people, 15 thinkers, trying to think how to create a new model with the neoliberal ideas that they had, Hayek and other economists and so on. And the strategy that they followed was quite simple. First, they create some mantras, a good narrative. For instance, the more money you have, the more things you can buy. And the more things you can buy, the happier you are. You go out and people live in that way. Even we are living in that way. Or for instance, they create another powerful mantra, try to convince that this is not true to anyone. We need to consume a lot, because in that way, the factories had to produce a lot. In that way, we create employment, and employment means welfare and well-being. Try to convince anyone in any street of London that this is not true. So that kind of mantras are there in our society, in our mindset, and we need to create some alternative mantras. And the next thing they did is create scientific evidences. And they went to universities, and they got a lot of universities supporting them. And then they create think tanks, and they went to the politicians and governments, and they got the support of many governments. For instance, this is one of the governments that was very successful developing neoliberalism. And then they went to the media, and they talk about these kind of things, and they got the advertisement. And then they went to Hollywood, and they made a lot of films. Today we watch a very beautiful film about the economics of happiness, but think that probably more or less every human being in Western countries, they watch, let's say, 2 Hollywood films per week, probably more, 2 per week, let's say. So between 10 and 30 years old, people are watching each year around 100 films. In 20 years, if each one of the films, we can say that is 1 hour and a half, you can say 100 films per year. In 20 years is 2,000 films. 1 hour and a half is 3,000 hours. So each person in this country and in the Western countries, we can say that we have 3 masters, because 1 master used to be 1,000 hours. Probably 1 master in globalization, 1 master in consumerism, 1 master, we can call it greed and selfishness. So we have to compete that. It's quite difficult. So the alternatives that are out there, Stephen was talking about transition network, Helena was talking about localization and the International Alliance for Localization. We have been listening some good experiences about companies doing things for the good. There are many alternatives, and I try to visualize and order them in this way. For me, this is the new economy. What do you think? Do you like it? Yeah, it's beautiful. So the new economy is an ecosystem. It's a forest. Because in a forest you can find big animals, small animals, big plants, small plants, and all of them are the ecosystem. All of them are equally important. So what we need, when we talk about different movements, different ideas, is mutual recognition that all of us are creating the ecosystem of the new economy, and that ecosystem is something that is something real, that is happening right now. It's not a utopia, as many people say. And trying to organize this, any model, you need a premise, you need a goal, you need a method. So we have the premise or the condition of sustainability. This is clear. We need to conserve the nature. We need a goal in the new economy, and it's very clear. The goal is to improve the lives of the people, happiness, common goods. And we need a method, and the method, before Mike was mentioning again what Stephen said about collaboration. So this is the very simple way to explain the new economy. All of us agree that we need to preserve the nature. All of us agree that we need to collaborate more in order to improve the life of people. And then, this is quite simple, but then here we can say that we have different models, different movements, different ideas. In the sustainability part, we have the circular economy, the green economy, the blue economy, the transition network, many movements. The localization, International Alliance for Localization are in this level working quite good. In the level of collaboration, we have the solidarity economy, the collaborative economy or sharing economy. So there are the commons, they are in the level of collaboration. And in the level of a clear purpose for the economy, we can talk about the social economy, we can talk about the economy for common good, or the concept of economies for happiness. And many more, even the fair trade could be there. Many of them are in different levels. So it's quite easy to understand that we are really creating something new, and all of us are contributing to create this new economy. But we need to send the message out, and we need something very important, because still I feel I am involved in different of these movements. You mentioned I am in economy for common good, but also I am collaborating with probably all of these movements. And still we are contaminated by capitalism, and we are competing. Because if you are working in the green economy, you say the green economy is the best solution. If you are very inside whatever of this movement, you think that you are the new economy and you have the solution. And I feel that it's quite difficult to promote collaboration. So what we are trying to do with the Global Hub, and I invite you to participate, is to create a new narrative, the first thing, and the second thing, to promote collaboration. And we are trying to do that, again, copying what the neoliberals are doing. They have a forum, they have a place where they meet every year trying to promote the current system. It's called Davos. Okay, and even they have other places like G20 and everything, but they have Davos, and many people go there trying to think talking about macroeconomics, how to think about globalization, how to think about free markets and everything, and they are meeting every year trying to work in that level. But we need that, and we are trying to create that in a bottom-up way and through collaboration, because we don't have the resources, we don't have the capacity to build this, and it's going to be the New Economy Social Innovation Forum, the NESI, that will happen next year, as Mike said, in Malaga in April. So what we are trying to do, what we achieve now, is that we got the commitment of some of the main networks that are currently working with different perspectives around the new economy, but they are trying to change something. And these are some examples. Transition Town, or Transition Network, is working now with us, the Social Enterprise World Forum, the B Corps, the Cooperative Movement, the Global Alliance for Banking on Values, the International Alliance for Localization, of course, Slow Food, the Wizard, different movements already agreed to work together to create this forum. And what we are trying to transform, in order to transform the lives of people, we are trying to transform four main areas. The first one, we need to transform the money, the banking, and the finances system, because I'm not going to talk too much about this. It's something that we need to transform because we have many problems with that. We have to transform the organizations. How do we manage the organizations of the future? We have to talk about that. We have to transform the cities, the place we are living, and the public policies that are creating the rules of the game for our towns, our cities. And of course, we have to work also in the level of the education and the knowledge in a very broad way. Here I include the media and the Hollywood and the social media, because that is all the information that people are receiving every day. So think about what kind of information we are sending to the people. And we want to collaborate in a very specific level, because the collaboration in the level of the grassroots is happening. Because many of you probably are connected with Transition Town, at the same time maybe you are connected with a social enterprise or whatever. So that is happening in the level of individuals. But in the level of the organizations, we're not working together to work in the things that, for instance, Helena was talking at the beginning, how to create an alternative to the current trade system. We had to work in that level, and we had to do common proposals. In the last 3 months, 3 times happened to be the same with different policymakers, one in Brussels in Europe, one in a town, and one in a region in Spain. And the 3 of them told me the same. Each one of these ideas or movements, they are coming to us with their proposals. But never happened before that you come together with one specific proposal, a positive one. The first time that happened something in this way was no proposal, was against something, is the TTIP. It's a success of the people and the movements, that all the awareness around TTIP. But it's against, it's not a proposal. How should be the trade? We need to build that, an alternative. And the way that we want to work is thinking about the different drivers of change that each one of these movements that you saw before are working about, because they have a lot in common, because all of them, or many of them, talk about well-being, social purpose, democracy, collaboration, localization, gender and ecofeminism, equality, technology for the common good, responsible consumption. And trying to identify, I copy something that Anya told me in a Skype meeting, trying to identify the key pressure points in the way that when you do acupuncture, you know, they touch you in 3, 4, 5 points, and everything changes, everything gets better. So we need to identify what are the key pressure points for each one of these areas that really will catalyze the change. In this way, we will get this. This is the, let's say, the positive message I want to finish with. But I would like just to use my last minute. I was not thinking to go very technical, but to say something about global trade. We got this achievement of the TTIP. We got that everybody is talking about the TTIP, whether it's good or whether it's not. You made a question about the Brexit. I don't know whether you remember in some of the headlines of the newspaper, I think was one of the new ministers, he said, the Brexit is one opportunity because we couldn't go far beyond with the TTIP because of Europe. Now we can do whatever we want. So that is the risk that we have more than the opportunity with the Brexit. But we have to go a little bit technical, and the WTO, the way it works, is the only agency in the world that is not inside the United Nations. The WTO is not inside the United Nations for some reasons. And it has too many simple principles. And both of them, some of you know about international trade, both of them sounds pretty nice. The first one is called the most favored nation. It means that if I am United Kingdom, I am buying this t-shirt, for instance, or someone is selling t-shirts for another country in United Kingdom with some conditions, that is the most favored nation, that conditions of the trade should be the same for everyone. So it seems that equality is good. And the second one is the equal national treatment. It means that once you have sold your t-shirt in my country, in the UK, you have the same rights that the other producers in the UK. It's equality. Both of them sounds really nice. But the problem starts with a concept, just to the one that I want to go technical, called like product. That concept, there are people that are trying to change it, but we are not getting. That concept says that this t-shirt is the same that other t-shirts, that wherever it was produced was with or without environmental conditions and social rights. So if children were working this t-shirt, it's the same product that any other t-shirt. They don't internalize what we call the ecological footprint and the social footprint. So it's so easy to change that concept, but no one is working on that. I just opened the discussion that there are many easy things to do, but we have to work together in that level, in the technical level, because it's what we need to do if we want to transform this. And just to finish, I just want to invite all of you during the day that we will be working together. How can we collaborate in your organizations, in your work, in order to work together, not only in the level of the people, that is the essential level, but also in the level of our organizations. Thank you very much.